Now the idea today is to look at rounding decimals. First of all, if we look at a number 3.74, there are two numbers after the decimal point. So that's two decimal places. We want to round that to one decimal place, which means we want to know, is this number closer to 3.7 or 3.8? Now the method, the easiest way of doing it, is to put a line at the one decimal place position and then look at the next number. In this case it's 4, which is less than 5, so we're going to say that this number is closer to 3.7, and that's the answer to our first question. Second one, we'll have a look at another similar one. If we take the number 3.786, and this time let's imagine we want to round this again to one decimal place. This time again we'll put a line after the 7, and if we look at this number we notice that we have an 8 after the line, which means that we would round up the 7 to an 8 to get 3.8. Now a few more examples just to show the idea and how it works. So the third example, if we take a number like 214.82 and that to one decimal place in exactly the same way, we put a line at the one decimal place position, and obviously the next numbers are 2, so we can actually simply forget about the 2 and leave the numbers an 8 to get 214.8. Another question. The next one, let's just try something like 16.269, and let's say we want 2 decimal places. So in this case I'll put the line after 2 decimal places, and we notice because we've got a 9 after the line, it means that the 6 will round up to a 7, so this number will be closer to 16.27. Now continuing in this way, if we look at a few more examples, number 5 for example, we have 0.0253, and this time let's still assume we're looking at 2 decimal places. So again we'll do that, put our line after the 2 decimal places point, our position there, and we notice because this next number after the line is a 5, we've got to decide whether to round the 2 up to 3 or leave it as it is. We assume that if we have a 5 we will round up, so this time the answer will be 0.03. Now in the same way, if we look at other numbers, say a larger number of decimal places, take a few examples here, let's say something like 7.8997, and let's go for 3 decimal places this time. So we notice here's our line, and we're looking at the 7 after the line, so the 7's telling me that I need to round up this 9. Now the problem here is that 9 becomes 10, and then of course we move the 10 to the next number, and so what we actually get this time is 7 point, now we've got to be careful on this one, it's actually going to be 900. That's a bit more tricky, but hopefully you can see that the round up effect has been carried on to the next figure, and that's why the answer in this case comes out with the 7.900. We do need the zeros, they are important to us, so we've got a place for each of the 3 decimal places. Another one I'll choose here, just a few more, so 12.007, and let's take, say, 1 decimal place for this one. So 1 decimal place here. So again, I put my line, we notice that the number after the line is a 0, so it doesn't affect it, so the answer in this case is simply 12.0. And again, we do need the 0 in that case. So as you can see, this method of putting a line in and looking at the number directly after the line will give us an idea as to the best rounding that is possible in these situations. So that's decimal places. Remember, decimal places are the numbers that occur after the decimal point. We will look at significant figures later, and that is the same idea, but just a few little alterations. But for today, that's the decimal place one. Hopefully that is understood by everyone reading or looking at this video. Thank you.